Good morning, everyone. Everyone, by everyone, I mean whoever might end up watching this and might glance and then scroll on through. Anyway, this is, I just wanted to do a series of short lives about the Advanced Teacher Training course that is coming up next weekend, and just give you a little bit of background. Today, I'm going to talk about how and why I created this program and what it's for and who it's for. Tomorrow, I will tell you about the amazing internationally renowned teachers I've managed to get on board this training. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be talking about all the different modules that you can take. Even if you don't take the whole course, there are modules you can take as a standalone. So I'll try not to ramble on too much. But today I just wanted to give you some background information and to invite you to chat to me. Like if you're watching this live, that's great. You can comment. Also, I'll be posting this to IGTV and YouTube, so you can comment later. Or you can direct message me, because if you do want to walk this whole 300-hour journey with me, then it's important that we start on Saturday. And I know that's like last minute, but just to put your mind at rest, quite a lot of the modules are recorded. The ones that are online are recorded, and we start off with some online stuff just because we were scheduled to have a retreat in Italy with Leela Lolling, who is in America, who cannot travel at the moment, and we weren't able to open Shanti Center. So the first few modules are online just so that we can get our American cohort and to get people kind of on board. And I know that puts a few people off, but also we know how to do online now, and we know what breaks we need to give, and hopefully that it's not going to be heavy going stuff if it's online. We'll save that for when we can hold space for you in person. So it starts on Saturday if you want to do the whole journey, which is an integrated journey from start to finish, with twice monthly mentor sessions with the lead teachers, and then these modules once a month that you do over time. So I just wanted to tell you today why I set this training up. Now, I wrote my first 200-hour program, which is your basic yoga teacher training. Legally, you need a 200-hour to be able to teach yoga in the UK. And I didn't want to write this course because 200-hour programs have got a very bad name in yoga, and fairly rightly so, although you have to start somewhere, right? We have to do the first training at some point. And so I was not writing this course, but I was seeing that these 200-hour programs were popping up all over the place, and it was something that became quite popular from the 90s onwards, and kind of churning out yoga teachers with this kind of one size fits all standardized yoga teacher training program. It doesn't suit all schools of yoga, and yoga is still quite open, that you can train people to be a yoga teacher, and one school's or one lineage's yoga teacher looks nothing like another, and that's kind of the beauty of yoga, right? But these standardized 200-hour programs came out, and they were seemingly churning out yoga teachers here, there, and everywhere. Now, there's pros and cons about that, and and then this kind of big hoo-ha about safety came along. Are these yoga teachers trained enough to give safe practice? And this whole other kind of can of worms opened up. So I was not writing my yoga program because of this kind of bad feeling about the 200-hour programs. But in the end, like I teach other people, what is inside of you needs to come out. Now, 200 hours is not enough. It's designed to be a diving board. It's your first training. It's kind of the first bit of training you can do in the classroom before you actually need to go out and see and experiment with these things. And the safety aspect, I think the problems come from, lauding the physical practice over the other elements of the practice. So arguably it's not even because of this, it's because we, through media, through kind of making yoga into mainstream fitness culture, have kind of applauded these advanced postures. And through our knowledge of fascia and anatomy, we know that you cannot do daily practice where you're stretching and stretching and stretching. You need times where you can kind of then just let your fascia, let your muscles kind of recoup. There are times after a very strong yoga practice where your body is unstable for a period of time. And so if you're teaching that you have to do this physical practice every day, yoga every damn day, hashtag, then you're going to get into trouble if asana and strong yoga practice is your is your yoga that you're practicing every damn day. So my 200 hours kind of introducing all different concepts, different styles of yoga, different tools of yoga, including yoga nidra, meditation, pranayama, and accessibility, being able to translate yoga to different bodies that come in. Now, when I was doing my yoga teacher training, and this is probably similar for most people who've done a yoga teacher training, is that we were all doing yoga all the time, and then we were all practicing teaching on each other. So the bodies that you came to teach during your training were these bodies that had had training in yoga. And it was all very easy. You know, you just do a little adjustment here and you teach this and you just say, oh, well, that's going to, then you come into your yoga classroom, you teach your first class, and you look around and none of these bodies look how the bodies looked on your teacher training course. It's like, what's going on here? Who are you all? These are normal people coming to yoga, maybe even being recommended yoga by doctors or health professionals to ease their stress and to get some fitness. And suddenly you're in this room and you don't have the tools ready to be able to help them. And even worse, you might have tools ready that are going to actually help them and not, they're going to actually hurt them and not help them. So anyway, the 200 hours designed like that, very focused on inclusivity, translating poses to people, not trying to get people to fit into these one size fits all. And then when I was doing, then it was always going to be the first step, right? Because, it's not enough. It's a diving board. 200 hours is very little time. And, the argument like this should be included into 200 hours, there's not that many hours to play with. So really people do want to do further training. So what I found when I started researching into 300-hour programs, the thing is you do a 200-hour and then a 300-hour, and then you're a certified 500-hour trainer, yoga teacher. And this is what a lot of studios want now. They want a 500-hour certificate because they know that if you've got 500 hours, you'll have had a great deal more experience in teaching. However, when I was exploring and researching the 300 hours, what I found was people were willing to do that work, but it was just more of the same. So a lot of the 300 hours that I experienced and researched were that you were getting trained to do more advanced asana. So you had another 300 hours to perfect your handstand, so that then in your field, you are then able to teach advanced students with their advanced asanas. So that to me was taking people further away from the normal people rather than bringing them closer to an understanding of how to translate this amazing stuff, not just asana, all of it, into, real life with real bodies. And then what I found was that once you've done your 500 hour, you get into the field and you have invested a lot of money, thousands of pounds in your field of expertise, which you can't then just give up, but you realize that you don't have the tools necessarily to work with people. So then you start adding trainings onto that. So you have to add your accessible training, you have to add this, you have to add that. And a lot of people then will go to yoga therapy. And that is another huge investment, which is great. And if you have that much money, you're going to be an amazing teacher if you do 200-hour, 300-hour yoga therapy. I'm not at all going to speak badly of this. It just seems like you've invested a lot of money. Whereas you could actually, in my vision, you could strip quite a lot of that back and go straight away in training to be able to teach real people. And we can do that by just kind of stepping off this pedestal of the asana based, the wonderful world of advanced gymnastics, contortion, whatever you call it, and just get straight into the tools of yoga and how to bring them to life. Advanced yoga is accessible yoga. Accessible yoga is the advanced way of teaching. It is your advanced practice. How many teachers have told me, an advanced practitioner knows when they can rest, whilst then still, teaching them a million chaturangas. They're just telling you that so that you feel better about lying down when everyone else is doing their a million chaturangas. But it's actually true. Advanced practice is knowing when to bring the other tools in, and knowing which tools you need at what moment, and knowing when you need the real physical practice, and knowing when you need the rest, and then being able to teach that. I think advanced teaching is being able to teach more people, not fewer people. So my 300 hour then was inspired by Accessible Yoga and the organization, and all these kind of advanced trainings that I'd seen from yoga therapists. I did a lot of yoga therapy trainings, and what I saw was that the teachings are actually stripped back into being extremely simple. Most of the time, you're teaching people to do less. You're looking at people and you're saying, how can we actually make this work for your body? And so it can be a lot less complicated than we make it. And so this 300 hour that I designed is a cross between advanced yoga training and yoga therapy. So I've got some of the most amazing yoga therapists, internationally renowned, who, for some reason agreed to be on my training, which I'm grateful for, absolutely grateful for. And I've learned so much from. We have the Accessible Yoga official training, which I was inspired by, because they kind of, they share my vision for what yoga is. And we have Uma Dinsmore Tuli, who, has this amazing kind of work with Yoga Nidra and Yoni Shakti, the feminine force, the drives, and, special yoga and yoga for cancer. And we have, the ethics portion of like, how can we keep teaching and churning out these courses when all the lineages are being brought down by having abusive rapist leaders? How do we make sense of that? And I had to go through that myself during my training, the last training I did, when my lineage that I trained with was brought to its knees. And and I don't want anything to do with that kind of behavior. So how do we then translate that into where we're going? So that was my intention for the training. So it's designed to be for yoga teachers who want to work with real people and don't necessarily have thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds to spend on, doing a 500 hour and then yoga therapy, but would just like to work therapeutically with the people that are already turning up at their yoga classes. People are coming to yoga now with these problems. And if we wait until, 10 years down the line when we can afford all of this stuff and say, I can't work with you because I haven't done that training. There's people with cancer here coming to classes. There's people with all sorts of different things. There's people. If you're working with people, you're working with trauma, right? You're working with their stuff. So in your classes, you already have these people that need your help. Now, then what happened was this course was written before COVID. And, it took me about 2 or 3 years to get it together. And then it was scheduled to run last year, and obviously it couldn't run. And, this year we're only running it by the skin of our teeth, because I have a few people left over from last time, and then new people are interested. However, it's coming at a time when yoga teachers have no money. It's marketed at yoga teachers, and yoga teachers have had the biggest hit from COVID and financial loss, a big hit. I can't say the biggest hit. I don't know. There's a lot of people that have taken the hit. So obviously it's tricky. It's a tricky time. However, what we've also seen from COVID is that the yoga world is changing. The yoga now is changing. We are moving towards a new vision of yoga. And that vision is that these tools are needed now. We need to help people now. We have a global trauma on our hands. And we all need to kind of get it together and share these tools. And again, these tools are inclusive. These are the special needs tools that we used to teach for certain demographics, which now, we've translated. We've moved now into a field where we all need these. We all need to kind of heal from what's happened. We've all dealt with grief, loss, change, instability. And these amazing tools help us sit with the unknown, help us sit with discomfort, help us make sense of, the unimaginable. And as we move forward, these tools help us to kind of deal with, future disasters that are coming, and you know, help us to kind of reconnect to the earth. We have the chance now as yoga teachers to move yoga back in the direction of healing trauma, healing the world, making a connection with the earth once again. And it's really needed now. So I know it's a difficult time for yoga teachers, and but you're needed now. And I know a lot of yoga teachers have actually quit their jobs and have gone back. But if you're still in the game and you still just need that little bit of a push, join this course. And if you can't do the whole course, there's some amazing modules you can do, and it starts on Saturday. So I'll come back tomorrow and I'll talk about the amazing visiting teachers we have on the faculty, because it's really quite incredible, and I really don't know how it's how it's going, but it's going, and I'll see you tomorrow. So don't forget, you can comment, you can ask me questions, and obviously it's all about money now, isn't it? You know, we're at a time when everyone's broke, and to suddenly invest in a 300-hour program, and also headspace, you know, have we really got headspace to kind of delve into this right now? But, you know, I think we're moving into winter. It's a really good chance to kind of, you know, dig into some deeper teachings. And as well as being able to give you tools to be able to share these teachings, it also gives you them in your own life. So it's an amazing gift you can give yourself. And obviously, you know, we can chat about payment plans because the course is going on now anyway. So it's quite easy to kind of add people in their own personal payment plans. You know, if there's a sense of trust and reciprocity, then we can look at how we can make this work for you financially. Okay, see you tomorrow, and comment and just ask me questions if you want. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.